The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Tension in EU Parliament as some leaders slams Ursula von der Leyen. According to them, a divided Europe is going to benefit Putin and Donald Trump. And they are not also happy the way that they are doing their things because they are allowing foreign interference in the affairs of Europe. And they need to fight against all these foreign interferences, and they also need to fight for their independence, to fight for their sovereignty, and to reclaim everything that they have as a people. According to the leaders that spoke, that Europe is not independent because Europe keeps depending heavily on other people. Now look at the time that they decided that they were not going to buy the Russian gas, only for them to flip the page to the United States of America, which still do not solve the problem because they need to fight for sovereignty and not to continue to be changing masters day in, day out. They also went ahead to talk about how they will use the Russian frozen assets as a loan to be given to Ukraine because they said Ukraine needs this help and Europe do not have the money to help Ukraine to continue with the fight. So for that matter, they believe that using the Russian frozen asset is the best decision. This is where the division came in, where other European countries decided to kick against it, and they said that, like Viktor Orban clearly stated, that this is going to be, quote, a stupid idea, end of quote, because two parties that are fighting, you cannot use one party asset as a loan to be given to the other because they know very well that Europe isn't part of this war. And this asset, when it's given to Ukraine as a loan, Ukraine wouldn't be able to repay this money.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Madam President and Minister. A divided Europe is the biggest gift you can give Putin and Trump. And this Council is a moment of truth after the US national security strategy, where people are saying that this is a wake-up call for Europe. A wake-up call? The wake-up call was on the 14th of February, when G.D. Vance was exactly playing out what is now in the national security strategy. So this is not a wake-up call, though not the first time. We have been woken up. How many times do we need before Europe really wakes up? The US strategy is clear. It's the same like Putin's. It wants to divide Europe. It wants to weaken Europe. It is against our liberal democracies. We need to stand up and need to fight for a European sovereignty. And that means the Council needs to deliver. On Ukraine first, we need to use the Russian frozen assets. And we demand a solution and a deal in the Council tomorrow. Get it done, show solidarity and help rebuild Ukraine. But we also need serious security guarantees for Ukraine. And any long-lasting peace of Ukraine will only be there if Ukraine has a future within Europe. But we need to discuss our relation with the United States as well. Madam President, you said we need our own strategy. Well, since the February 14th, we only made ourselves more dependent of the United States. Yes, we put away our dependency of Russian gas, but we exchanged it for dependency of American gas. That is the wrong direction after the February 14th, and that needs to change. When is Europe finally going to learn? We need a strong, united, sovereign Europe. A Europe that fights for our freedom of speech, and not a speech being determined by algorithms designed by US tech autocrats. Truly implement the Digital Services Act. Our citizens deserve real free speech and needs protection from the US tech bros. But also economically, we need to be strong. It makes you think, dear EPP, when the American ambassador is applauding what you are doing with the due diligence law. That is an American agenda, an American deregulation agenda that the EPP is providing to. Be proud of that. You are serving the Trumpist agenda. And also yesterday, Also sorry to say, Madam President, what you did yesterday on the car regulation proposal, it's the best Christmas gift you can give China. You are throwing the European car industry under the bus. You said the future is electric, and you are right. But now you are casting doubt for our own car industry, and that's the best gift for China. The future is electric, and the only choice is, will we be part of it, or will we just import future cars? That's the choice. So therefore, Madam President, rethink your omnibus agenda, because it is a deregulation Trumpist agenda. Last point for the EPP. You promised during the elections to only work with those who are being pro-Europe, pro-Ukraine, pro-democracy. Well, you've heard the speeches of your new friends. Rethink under your Christmas tree, and not during Easter, but Christmas. Thank you.
Somebody, European Union, would like to take away the money of one of the warriors party and then to give it to another one. It's a marching into the war. So the Belgian Prime Minister is right. We should not do that.
We are working day and night with Belgium, and I want to thank the Prime Minister for his personal engagement here. It's absolutely understandable, and I support that if we take the reparations loan, the risk has to be shared by all of us. This is a matter of solidarity, a core principle of the European Union.
Either money today or blood tomorrow. And I am not talking about Ukraine only, I am talking about Europe. And this is our decision to make, and only ours. I think all European leaders have to finally rise to this occasion.
Even these people that came into the continent to divide the African are themselves being controlled. The people that came into Africa and they control the African, and we always see them to be united, are also finding issues within themselves, and this same organization is controlled by other people. Like they said, foreign interferences, just like they are interfering in the affairs of the African. And these people are calling for total liberation. They are fighting for their sovereignty because they depend heavily on other people. And what is making other people to control them is because they don't own the narrative. They keep buying everything that they need from other people. They don't produce the things that they need, like what is happening in Africa. We depend on other people for almost everything. We don't produce anything. So that is the reason to which other people have the power to always control the African. And if truly we are looking for our freedom as Africans, we need to be able to fight for that sovereignty by taking control over everything that is on our soil. I never knew that even EU is being controlled by other people. And these people are fighting to make sure they reclaim their sovereignty from America and the king of the world, Russia. We need to all understand that to own the narrative means that you should be able to do things on your own. We cannot continue to be dependent on other people for everything that we need, like the system that they've kept in place, making sure that the African do not produce anything. And these same people who are doing this to us are also being controlled by other people. The leaders said they need to fight for their freedom. They need to fight for their sovereignty. And that is why Africans, every blessed day, we are calling for Africans to also fight for our sovereignty. Like the leaders rightfully said, if they divide, it's going to benefit other people. And Africa, other people are benefiting because they succeeded in dividing us. They succeeded in dividing us. Our unity is the only thing that will give us the freedom that we are looking for. We cannot continue to look at other people for them to come here to help us. Like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, he who feeds you controls you. The more we continue to depend on these people, the more they'll continue to control the African. Even though a lot of us believe that we are free, but we are not free. We are still heavily under the colonial control, but in a modern way that we the Africans finds it difficult to even realize. According to some of the leaders, they don't see the reason to which that they need to use the frozen assets to their benefit. That if they continue with their decision or the idea of giving the frozen assets to Ukraine, then they are marching into a war. And this is what they always do to the African. When they finally came in and took over the resources of Africa, they decided that we are going to keep it. But when they realize that where they are trying to keep the assets is bigger than them, mightier, they are thinking twice. Africa, we need to look for power. Always I say it. It is power that will give us the might to be able to set ourselves free. And the power will always be in our resources. These people are mightier and we are scared of them because they control the resources. Everything in Africa is under their control. But the day the African will manage to control the resources, like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, we've seen that anytime they are dealing with them, they deal with them differently and they deal with them like equal leaders. They don't underestimate them like they are doing to those in the democratic elected. So Africa, we need to also fight for our sovereignty, for our rights and our independence, because the African independence that is given is the political independence which is still not benefiting the African and is benefiting other people. Like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, what is the essence of a political independence without economic independence? And it is the economic independence that will give us the power that we need to be able to stand up to other people on the global stage. It's amazing how things are unfolding. Now we know that even this organization that always summon our leaders and talk to them anyhow are also under control and the influence of other people. And then they're also fighting for their freedom. And we need to also make sure they understand that they will never use us to get their independence anymore. We must also be free, and that will come from you and I, our unity. Like they are calling for unity so that other people wouldn't be able to penetrate. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make African great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and in Europe.